This ASIC miner makes almost $50 a day, but it's a massive gamble with a huge risk. Let me introduce you to the Goldshell XT Box. Huge shout out to the team over at Goldshell for sending us this brand new altcoin miner for today's video review. As we talked about at the very top of this, it's risky. It's a massive gamble to go ahead and buy this miner. But before we dive into that, let's get it unboxed. All right, so on paper, the Goldshell XT Box is actually the most profitable ASIC miner to date as of right now, October 13th. However, there's a lot to unpack about this miner, but let's go ahead and get it unboxed. So the Goldshell XT Box here, this is a home miner. It's built specifically for 120 or even 220, 240. These models, the chassis has been around for quite a long time for Goldshell. They have not changed it up much other than the fact of something like their Mini Doge 3 Pluses or even the Goldshell Byte. So taking a look at this guy, some quick first impressions. We'll swing this around and then we'll jump into it here. All right, so let's scoot you aside, and we cannot forget this guy. What do we have here? The Wi-Fi dongle. So the Goldshell XT Box does come with built-in Wi-Fi and Ethernet as your network interface to get started, which is really, really nice. So first off here, let's swap it around this way, and I'll bring this a little bit closer. Here you guys can see Goldshell XT Box, and we have our serial number there, starting with ORU. Now looking at the front of the unit, it requires 2 6-pins. So it's not insane when it comes down to the watts at the wall. We'll go ahead and measure it here very, very shortly. Not too bad, only a few hundred. We have our Ethernet connection there, some indicator lights, and our IP report light. The front of these have not changed. Goldshell's been doing the kind of same old with these for a very long time. I would love to encourage Goldshell, look at the RGB fans. We as home miners love RGB. We'd love to see them bring that back. At one point too, they actually did some etchings on the side of these and made them very customized. There were Christmas ones. There was a Voscoin edition at one point. Would love to see that return. On the back side here, plain Jane setup. We do have that we've seen many, many times. We have our Goldshell wireless dongle there and nothing on this side and or on the bottom. So what we're going to do now is we need to power this unit. That's the big one. How are we going to power this? Because it just comes just like this with 2 6-pins. And I'll be honest with you, I want to get this online as fast as possible. All right, so let me show you guys how I'm actually powering my Goldshell XT Box. So as we talked about, it doesn't traditionally come with, kind of the power supply, and you never know what you're going to get from Goldshell with the power supplies. You're going to get this hunkin' big silver unit with yellow and black cables, or is it going to be a small black unit? You never really know. So I don't traditionally rely on any of the Goldshells that I do buy or I get in for the power supply. Instead, I absolutely prefer to go with the HP 1200 watt power supplies. You can get these off of Amazon. Most of these are kind of refurbished units, as well as these breakout boards. They usually go to $10 to $15, very, very cheap. And then finally, I do not cheap out on cables. These come directly to me from the Veteran Miner. These are custom made cables in the US. I'll go ahead and link cables, breakout board, and the power supply down below if that's something you guys are interested in for any of your small home box miners. The nice thing is you can plug in multiple different miners into one breakout board. That's why we have all these, because we're at 1200 watts, which is great. Now I did go ahead and pull out my watt meter so we can get some true metrics for this miner. I always recommend watts at the wall first. Always look at that. Don't go off of the manufacturer numbers. So let's go ahead. We're going to press this little white button right there. And off we go. So first off, when you are setting this up for the very first time, you'll always go with Ethernet. The first time you go ahead and do that. And then you can go ahead and set up your wireless, and then you can disconnect the Ethernet if you want to. Based off of us going into fall and winter, wireless is definitely the way to go. You can place these in different spots in your house to give off a little bit of heat that these do put out, because they do use a couple hundred watts. So that is some nice heat that it generates, and you get to go ahead and repurpose it. So we're going to jump over to the computer. You can use the website Find My Goldshell. I'll link that directly down below at the bottom of this video. If you guys ever are setting this up, it'll find all the Goldshell miners and their IP addresses on your network. All right, let's go ahead and get our Goldshell XT box set up. All right, so it's been well over an hour. I've been banging my head against the wall, and I'll explain more in just a second. But right here is the Goldshell XT box that we're playing with today, coming in at 580 gigahash at only 400 watts. And if you guys are interested in the algorithm for this one, there's actually multiple different algorithms out there. This is very, very unique. You'll find that different hardware runs off of different algorithms, like CPU mining with Tari runs off of like RandomX. And the one for ASICs here is SHA-3X. So it keeps it very separated. It's very different, something we haven't seen a ton of before. Anyways, so I did go ahead, and you can actually hear the miner behind me ramp it up a little bit. You might be able to hear it. On my network, you can go to find.goldshell.com, and here it is, my Goldshell XT box. You can also use, they have an app as well. I'm not a huge fan of the app. It's just, I've always managed my miners via the IP address, but there is a Goldshell app out there if you're interested. But once you find it, go ahead and click the gear. That's going to go ahead and bring up the IP address for configuration. Now, something to take a look at is talking about pools out there. And actually, let me go to the right-hand side here, type in Tari. You can see they have all the different algorithms, as we talked about before. We're on SHA-3X, and there isn't a lot of pools out there. Most people are using DX Pool, where they have, we got 87 miners there, and Lucky Pool has 350 miners right now, which is absolutely crazy. Most likely because of the pool fee, 0.9% versus the 5% there. Now, I've been banging my head against the wall trying to get Cryptex to work. It does not work, at least right now, time recording this, October 13th. And I'm trying to get Cryptex to work, and I'll explain. So I've never used Cryptex before. I'm brand new to it. Tonight I spent a lot of time looking into it, and I was like, ooh, I really like this. I want to go ahead and try it out. So they have a desktop app that you can mine with your computer, CPU, and GPU, but then they also have their pools out there and available. And you can see here, there's a boatload of different pools for ASICs and for GPUs and for CPUs. And I was actually eyeing up here, they have Tari SHA-3X listed under GPUs, at least at the time recording this, guys. I don't think they've adjusted the difficulty properly, because you don't see Tari listed for SHA-3X up top here. So I tried mining to Cryptex, got a boatload of rejected shares. It just wouldn't connect properly. And you might be like, why are you stuck on Cryptex? Well, let me show you. Cryptex has the ability to mine to it, and then look at all the different payment methods you can convert to. You could go to Amazon gift cards. You could go to Visa MasterCards. You can go to USDT. And all these different options. So I was eyeing up going right to Bitcoin. I didn't want to hold, and I still plan not to, if I can, not hold any Tari, to be honest with you. I am not a fanboy. I don't know a ton about the project, but I absolutely would love to stack Bitcoin with this miner because it's so profitable right now, and I want to take advantage of it. So I was eyeing up Bitcoin. So something to keep in mind. This video isn't sponsored by Cryptex in any way, but you can see all the different algorithms they support, and it can auto convert to all these options here. I'll leave a link down below to Cryptex if that's something that you're interested in. So I did go ahead and get my Goldshell set up on DX Pool. Goldshell and DX Pool, I don't know their relation, their sister parent companies, I'm not really sure, but every Goldshell that comes out works with DX Pool instantly and is actually built in with their configuration. So I got this miner set up on there only a few minutes ago, actually, after banging my head against the wall for this. But you can see it's coming in at 585 gigahash. Our watts at the wall right now are 418 watts. So we're coming in about 18 watts higher than the original advertised here, 400 watts, but it does say plus or minus 5%. So it's not so bad. And you can see here, it's actually, you can see it's still ramping up. It's a little, it only says 73 gigahash pool side. And you can see it right down here as well. It's just going ahead and getting up and running. So it's going to take a little bit to reflect fully on the pool side here once we get up and running. But guys, I want to be honest. Let's talk about the profitability of this miner and why I'm a massive skeptic of Tari, let alone the Goldshell XT Box. All right, so let's talk about your favorite part of crypto mining, and that's the profitability, and I 100% get it. So we're over here on mining now, and the XT Box is the most profitable home miner and even full-size ASIC miner right now on the market. Now, we're recording this on October 13th, which is right after this massive wave of red that we've experienced. And so everything is down. And I'm going to show you here in a minute. This miner was making over $90 a day just a few days ago. And now we're down to $35 a day. Still extremely good. So it's not all, oh, well, there's too much hash rate on the network. It is actually, because of the market, the most influential thing on this price. But still, $37.03 a day at only $1.44 in electric, coming in at $35.59. So this miner, which we looked at least as of today, and we take a look at this unit, we were looking at this miner coming in at, you know, anywhere just over $2,000. Based off of the current situation, it's making over $13,000 a year. But I'm a skeptic, and I want to share that with you now because I think this is where I truly feel these altcoin ASIC miners that are put out on the market on let me just explain why I feel they're so risky. So let's take a look here. Here is the network hash rate for Tari. And you can see going back a month ago, you know, we're down here around 51, you know, 48, 47 terahash. Well, in just under a month, and you can kind of see where the XT boxes started coming online slowly, the hash rate has increased significantly up to 86.52. Now, 86.52, right? 86.52 terahash. When we look at these miners are 580 gigahash. So even two of these miners is going to move the needle pretty quickly. Even just 1 terahash total. And you might be like, all right, well, why is this such a big deal? Well, the more hash rate on the network, the less profits there are to go around. It's all split. So the challenge is as the network hash rate goes up, and this little project here, Tari, was only at 47 terahash. You got to wonder how many Goldshell miners were produced. I mean, seriously, here's an idea. Let's say that there's 200 Goldshell miners, let's just say produced. That means we're going to come in we're going to move that needle 100 terahash. It's going to crush this network. So my biggest concern as a home miner that sees how expensive these things are at $2,000 is how much longer will this actually make $35.61 a day? Do you see why I was so interested in Cryptex in getting as much Bitcoin as I could as quickly as possible? I don't care about Tari, and I'm sorry, like if you're a huge Tari fanboy, fangirl out there, big on the community, good for you. Like kudos, I love it. But for me, I just want to stack more Bitcoin. So it's very, very up in the air. Now, taking a look here at Tari's price, you know, just go back here. This was October 6th. Right around October 6th, this was up here. You know, I mean, look how high it went in that price. And this was when Goldshell announced these XT boxes. A little bit of questionability there on some market maker events possibly going on. I mean, we were all the way over here. But if we go back, let's take a look. Was the network hash rate around the 6th? Okay, so the network hash rate, even then, was getting up there at 60 from where we were previously. Finally, I was telling you guys about $90 a day. I'm not kidding you. Take a look here. We're over on ASIC miner value. Let's get this in dark mode here. And, you know, it's coming in around $39 a day right now. Oh, that's at 10 cents. Let's bump this up to 15. Not that it's a huge difference, but we'll adjust that a little bit. So there you go, $38.70. But here's what I want to show you. Look at this. This miner was upwards of almost $90 a day. That would have been amazing. $90 a day on a $2,000 miner. Now, this has slowly started to go down. And so my concern is this trend that we see here of the downwards profitability goes from left to right downward as this guy goes from left to right upward. That's the challenge. When you have these miners come out on a network that really can't support how powerful, and it's crazy to think, yes, I'm putting the word powerful next to a Goldshell home miner that's only 400 watts, but it is absolutely the case. I'm concerned. And here's where my concern is how quickly can you get one of these miners? I mean, they're sold out right now. But how quickly can you get one of these miners before that profitability is gone? So after hearing all of my concerns and how risky it is, if you're still chasing that profitability and you're interested, it looks like it is out of stock on Goldshell's site, but I'll leave a link down below with a discount code when it does become available. However, taking a look here, let's look at some other resellers that I do commonly use. ASIC Marketplace does have it available. And I actually do have a discount code for this. I'll link that down below for the XT box. Does say October delivery. Crypto Miner Bros, same thing. $21.49. I can get you a little bit of a discount on that. I'll list it down below as well. Coin Mining Central, same thing. They have it here, especially if you're in the EU. They have it listed as well as for the rest of the world. Is available October. So like that's like any day now, right? And then finally, ASIC Plug does have this. So those of you guys that are in the US, ASIC Plug does have this available. And it does have a 15th through the 30th. So I'll leave links to all these guys down below if you want to go ahead and check it out. Looks like you can order these up on all these reseller sites, but it looks like Goldshell stock is no longer available. So is the Goldshell XT box worth it? Well, I'm going to leave that up to you after today's video. $50 a day is pretty badass, I'll be honest with you. But as we discussed, it comes with massive risk. As always, please do your homework. And if you guys have more questions, feel free to stop in the Discord with a link directly down below, and let's talk.